Hello, my name is Patrick Hynds. I'm the CEO of Pulsar Security, and we're an education partner with the CMAA. Pulsar Security is a security firm that specializes in cyber. The best way to explain it is there's two real sides to cyber. There's the people with the checklists who go around and make sure that you're following procedure, and there's those that actually try to break in, and we're the latter. We're more kinetic. We help large organizations understand where their weaknesses are and fix them in ways that a checklist can't. I am a Gulf War veteran, West Point graduate, and after the war I got into technology in a big way. I was actually doing some technology in the military, though it wasn't my primary mission. And I saw the need for security way back in the day. I was a network administrator and programmer and always brought security to every job I did in the early days. And in 1994 I started a company, and that's evolved into Pulsar Security. The company's main office is in New Hampshire, and we have about 20 employees out of that office, but we also have people all over the country in Arizona and Florida, Maryland, and we also have partners and contractors all over the world, really. But the customers is a gambit. We have small and large. The largest that you'd probably have ever heard of would be Purdue Farms, the chicken people. And U.S. Army CENTCOM, the Central Command out of MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. Oh, it's not that complicated a story. So one of the things that we believe is that the cyber war is here. That 50 years when they look back, they're going to say they didn't realize they were in the middle of it, but the cyber war is here. And the only victims are Western companies and Western interests. And so as a company full of cyber professionals, there's a real shortage today. So we've tried to build services that help us address as many customers as possible at the lowest price, and we believe that the CMAA's members represent a very special group because not only do the companies need protection, but the members need protection. If I'm an external hacker from one of the countries, North Korea, Iran, Russia, China, any of those countries, and I want to get at someone, I'm not going to just stop at the company gates. I'm going to look for where they go with their family time. I'm going to go and look for their home networks. And so anything we can do to prevent the clubs from being breached, that has a domino effect throughout the membership. So we actually have a family membership. Some of the people who work for us, including our co-founder, have a family member who was a manager of a club and needed some help to get through a cyber audit or an audit for insurance purposes and also for CMAA. And so we helped them out and realized that we could be of service, and we approached CMAA and became an education partner.
Good. How's that been so far?
It's been great. We've done some webinars. We found the audiences be intelligent and receptive. We think we can add a lot of value, and that we can do our part in this cyber war, which I referenced before. Yes, this group is very unique because a lot of them are what you might consider small businesses that operate with a lot of sophistication. There's been some breaches in the industry for clubs, but they've been fairly untouched. They've been fairly untouched relative to some of the other big industries. That said, as they keep evolving, as we heard in some of the talks already at this conference, as technology evolves, the risks also evolve. So what we want to do is stay ahead of that curve. Yes, I've been to many trade shows. I've spoken at many technical conferences for Microsoft and other vendors all over the world, Hong Kong, Cairo, New York. So yes, I'm very comfortable with the trade show circuit.
What about the people here?
Yes, the attendees at most shows are there to be told what to do. That is not the case here. People here have their own opinion, have their own worldview, and it's more of a discussion rather than let me tell you what you don't know.
Yeah, a lot of decision makers here too.
Exactly. There's a lot of leadership in the crowd, where other places it's more followership.
Right.
They're more interesting to talk to. That's very much for sure.
That's great. All right, I have some.
Our partnership with CMAA is important because it allows us to further our mission. Our mission is not just to sell, but to help U.S. companies, U.S. businesses, and the U.S. in general. We're founded by myself. I'm a veteran. I anticipated staying in the military my entire life, but I was hurt enough in the war to get out. And so I'm still Team USA 100%. And so CMAA's education relationship lets us reach a very big audience that can have a really big impact. The webinars are very valuable, but I think the World Conference is probably the most valuable. Being able to actually see people and talk to them face to face, it makes a huge difference.
Very good.
CMAA's membership is made up of leaders as opposed to followers. Most organizations that we deal with, we're dealing with bureaucrats. We're dealing with people who are checking boxes because they're in that business. We find that the average CMAA member is more a decision maker and a leader, and that's really who would rather be dealing with. First thing is, I wouldn't be trying to convince them. I'd be trying to convince them that they need to pay attention to the cyber threat. If they take a look at the world around them, it's pretty easy to see that we're under siege. A few years ago, it would have been unheard of for a water treatment plant or a hospital to be brought offline. There was a case of a child that died at a hospital because of a cyber attack, a ransomware attack. Those were unheard of a few years ago. It's just going to keep getting worse. And so our message isn't buy, buy, buy. It's you need to do something to protect your members, your organization from this, because the tide's rising. And we have a solution, and we want to be part of that solution if that's the right decision. But even if our message is just to get them to do something, even with a different vendor, then we've accomplished our mission. I wasn't going to say this, but because I don't think it's true, but it almost sounds like it's pandering. Because of the shortage of cybersecurity professionals in the world right now, there is no shortage of business for us. We more likely turn down business, and so we're interested in the right deals, not the volume of deals. And so that means we want to do the most good for the most important customers as opposed to just getting the best payday. And so that's why we're trying to offer a service that is geared towards lowering the cost of cybersecurity. Because right now, an organization can spend as much as they want on cybersecurity, and they can spend an infinite amount. It's like insurance. You can spend as much as you want to spend. But what we're trying to do is come up with a way to help organizations be secure enough that they've satisfied due diligence, that they're not the low-hanging fruit in the attacker's arsenal.